It's the second semi-final, and we're underway here a little late, but it's Pearcedale v Karingal, both sides fighting to keep their season alive. Not only that, but to book a preliminary final position against Somerville next week. And it's Karingal through Alanis to head to half forward, obstructed in the air illegally. Sam Glenn, the captain, who looks further afield, sweeps onto the left, has a lead in hope. And he needs to be alive today, and what a start it is for him.
Yeah, and they're going to be missing Riley D'Arcy today, out for 6 weeks with that headbutt at the same ground as well, at the opposite end. Darcy Hope, he's going to have to be that main key forward option today, and this would be a great start for the Bulls.
Switched from playing defence predominantly in his early part of his career. And at the moment, without Riley D'Arcy, as Bailey mentioned, he needs to step up tall and will his side to a victory. Drop punt on the way. It never looked like missing. And the Bulls, as they were last week, have a fast start this week.
Yeah, just going to make sure they capitalise on their opportunities later, though. We know they had a great start to that Somerville game, and they were up early, up and about, and then, quickly fell apart during the rest of the game once Somerville set well up behind the ball, so there was no flow to their ball movement. But, great start for the Bulls. And we're now set to resume hostilities. Just a minute 30 into this one. It's already Karingal leading by 6. Let's see how this talented Pearcedale midfield can respond. So no one really won the hit out on that occasion. It's going to be Bradley who kicks it forward, and it's intercepted nicely by a Pearcedale Panthers player there. In the end, it was not even Linda Saunders, it was Frawley. And then almost a turnover there. Loose ball. Just trying to fight to get inside 50. Brilliant hand pass inside forward 50. Just bustling across. No one can get a clean disposal at the moment. Karingal looking good. Alanis dishes it off by hand. Enters inside 50 again. This Pearcedale defence is looking awfully flustered by this stampede from the Karingal Bulls early on. Off by hands. Snaps it. And they're going to pay a free kick. Push in the back. And that is fair enough. Struggling to get up is Darcy Hope there. Levi Dixon. So free kick will be awarded.
He's been given a taste of his own medicine there, Dixon.
So set shot. It's good. And wasn't Levi Dixon with the free kick, actually. It was another Bulls player, and Karingal have 2 early on, directly in front.
Yeah, Matt Robinson on the board for the Bulls.
Matt Robinson, he played a great game last week in the loss to Somerville. He had 27 disposals on 66% efficiency. So he certainly hasn't slowed down just yet.
So back in the middle. And Levi Dixon averages 7.4 tackles a game, which is why I said a taste of his own medicine. He's usually on the other end laying the tackles, but we're back in the middle. And a couple minutes in, it's Karingal with 2 goals through Hope and Robinson. And a free kick this time to Scott Jansen from the middle. Just to heave them forward again. In fact, it's not Jansen, it's Alanis, who's got his mitts on the footy everywhere. Over to Pomeroy, advancing deep into attack now. Hope through his fingertips out the back door. An opportunity reveals itself. There's a man at full forward alone. It was Robinson. Ball didn't reach him, and in defence, Pearcedale can settle down for a moment. A 50-metre penalty has been given as well. This will be their first real possession, and it's Benwell who gives it off. And through the middle, it's Jordan Bastanak with the long sleeves out today. Slightly miscued the kick. Alanis again entering the scene. Falls to it with the footy attached to him, and we'll have a ball up in the centre.
Yeah, so Jordan Bastanak, odd choice. 20 degrees out here at Ryde today. Beautiful conditions and wearing the long sleeves. I'm not sure if I'm all about that, but nonetheless, stoppage. Karingal have been so bullish early, haven't they? What can the Pearcedale side do? Just kicks it out into space here on the wing. 2 players going to pursue, trying to chase the ball, but it will go over the boundary line. It was Christian Matthews. It was Cruz West, and Linda Saunders in that one. So boundary throw in. Long and high, the pill goes. Slapped out into some more space, and we should have another one. Hugh Jones in the ruck there for Pearcedale.
Yeah, Dale Alanis, I've liked what he's been doing early on. About 4 or 5 possessions in just 5 minutes.
Well, he had a sort of quiet game against Summerhill last week, didn't he? So it's great to see him start early on.
By his standards. A surprise loss for Karingal last week. They entered it with ambitions, and at the moment they're 2 goals up, so maybe making up for it. There's Ryan Bastanak scrambling a kick forward. It fooled a couple, and Alanis again with the clearance into the centre of the ground. It bowled Badams, and it's picked up by George Akopoulos, who floats one up in the air to half forward, bobbling around through multiple pairs of hands, and now into space, and a brutal tackle by Caelan Thornton on his opponents. And we'll have a ball up. Do it all again outside Pearcedale's 50. Neither ruckman able to get the hit out, and it was Bastanak. A dropped mark, maybe by panic, and it gave the Panthers a chance. The hand pass fed through, and he's called for holding the ball.
I barely had a clean possession of it, you might say, but Karingal won't mind that call at all. Alanis on the wing takes an uncontested mark, runs off it. Short little stabbing kick to Sam Glenn, the captain, who goes inside 50. Hope bleeding out, and he won't mark it. Tries to run onto it and crumb it a little, but Pearcedale, the defence worked well to get around the footy there. Long kick inside 50. West marks it. And he says to his teammates, slow down. Oh, he's actually going to play or not take the set shot. Finds an uncontested player, and they won't call that a mark. That is very stiff.
High.
They're going to call high, though. So he'll get his set shot in the end. Will Riley Bradshaw. And this is their first opportunity, first scoring shot of the day for the Dales. Bradshaw, slide angle, 45 or so out. Wind is trying to drag it to the post, but no, goes through for Pearcedale's first major of the day. And that was some great work there at half-back by Pearcedale. It was really only Darcy Hope in the red and white for Karingal that was anywhere near that footy, and Pearcedale just outnumbered. Some great teamwork there. And now the Dales only 6 points behind, 7 minutes 40 into this first quarter.
Quiet last week, Riley Bradshaw, so good to see he's on the scoreboard early. When they've had 2 meetings, these sides, and it's been Karingal by 10 points and by 7 points. So it looks to be a close matchup, and the ruckman will contend in the air again. Jones tapping it down. Bastanak barging his way through, getting some territory, but not much because Glenn was in his way, and he went past one, put it to half forward, and it's cut off by the Panthers' defence. They'll share it out wide. It's with Bravo on the wing. He's able to find the man who just kicked the goal, Riley Bradshaw, lace out. It'll take a moment to survey his options ahead. He puts it to a pack at half forward. It falls out the back. A free kick going the way of Pearcedale again. Similar position to where Bradshaw just kicked a goal, and this time it's Luke Daniel.
Luke Daniel kicked 4 goals last week.
And this time it's fading right. It'll stay there. And it's out on the full.
And we're really seeing the contrasting differences in these footy teams. Of course, Karingal are really good at winning the contested ball, whilst Pearcedale like to have open players, win a lot of uncontested footy to the Dales.
The ball's from full back. And now they all swarm into the centre, flying from the side. Frawley unable to rake it in, but his teammate Bastanak put it to another forward. And they all surround Jordan Bastanak. And the man who took the mark was Luke Jennings, who had a moment last week where he kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes.
They looked rather flustered early on, did Pearcedale, but really composing themselves now. It was some great play out here on the wing, and that led to a free kick and then another inside 50 entry.
Had the crowd expelled Joy last week, and he can tie the game here, nearly 10 minutes into the semi-final, although he's kept it left. And we're at 1-1-7 for Pearcedale and 2 straight for Karingal on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard for Sunday afternoon football.
So they're just going to play on out of full back here. Finds an open player, a teammate in Christian Matthews in the pocket. Pearcedale setting up nice behind the ball. There's a lot more red and white though. Was spoiled, however. So Karingal loved the contested ball. That should be holding the ball. Great chase there by Nathan McKenzie. So inside 50 entry once again. And a strong mark taken, but they're going to call a free kick against Pearcedale. I think that was West that took that great mark there. It was impressive to hang on to it. Just didn't reap his rewards in the end. So Karingal kicking it to the centre almost. And then there was Hugh that nearly took that.
Yeah, Hugh Jones.
Yeah, Hugh Jones. I've given the first name treatment there. But Pearcedale have been really persistent. Jones dominating the ruck early on. Here's Bastanak. Absolute superstar. That is not the best handball you'll ever see from Bravo. Players just grouping together and umpire calls for a ball up.
Yeah, we've seen Bastanak in the AFL as well. What he can do, can tear the game apart. At the moment, his teammates, I think it's Thornton, caged in. But Bastanak had a game earlier in the year with 45 disposals, 12 clearances and 4 goals.
He's an absolute superstar. That's why he played 164 AFL games.
Jones with the tap. Alanis lays the tackle and then clamours forward. McKenzie on the ground, has it taped to him. We'll have another ball up. 11 and a half minutes in. Karingal with the first 2 goals. It's been all Pearcedale since, and through the agency of Bastanak, they'll head forward again. It's going to the right, nearly out of bounds. It stays in play. Bastanak's brother Jordan can't keep it in. Another boundary throw in. But only 4 players, including Darcy Hope, past the halfway line. In Karingal's forward end, the deepest player is on the 50-metre arc. So everyone surrounding this footy at the moment. Alanis and Glenn, they'll work in tandem. Here is Glenn. Sprinting forward across the wing. Hope will lead up to it. Can't take the mark, and now the numbers lie with Pearcedale. Benwell, he was in the mix. Alanis brought to ground. We'll have a ball up about 65 out from the Bulls' goal.
And they were lucky there, Pearcedale. If you're Jack McGuinness, you can't let Darcy Hope get that much room. Got to stop that run. So they will enter inside 50, the Bulls. Here is Darcy Hope. Pearcedale got to the footy first, though. Unfortunate for him. Exiting out of 50 from half back. They're going to run here. Just tries to find the boundary line. That could be insufficient attempt.
It won't be.
And it won't be. So that was Riley Bradshaw, the man who's scored Pearcedale's only goal so far. Had about 3 Karingal players around him. Just had to get rid of it. Boundary throw in. Jones got it over the back. And now's Bastanak. So clean by hands. But now his other teammates just a bit sloppy. Have to send a high one up forward. Can anyone mark it? Runs onto it. Goes one way, goes the other. On the right, snapping. That's going to make it all the way. Nicely done, Lukey Jennings. Kicked 3 last week against the Panthers, as Dill mentioned earlier on. And he kicks his first of the day with a great bag. Leapt up like a leprechaun.
Well, they've got the lead now. And it's all been the Bastanak clan, really. Ryan and Jordan. Clearances and possessions out of the middle. They both stay around this footy, so it's Hugh Jones in the ruck. Once again, he's 7th in the league for hit-outs, and here is Jordan Bastanak. Finds his brother Ryan, loops one over the top, about 20 metres forward. McKenzie's wrapped up. Can't break free. In fact, it was Centenary. Smale puts his hand up for the ruck this time and wins the tap out, but Jones won't allow his opponents any access to the footy. Bradley, first time we've said his name today. He was brilliant last week. We'll have another ball up. 14 and a half minutes through. 2 goals early for the Bulls. And the Panthers have replied with 2 more. Digging it out, McGuinness, Jones, muffled ball forward. Off the hand of Bartling. And he's been...
It's going to be a free kick.
Giving away the free kick. And it'll be Glenn Anderson to take the kick. 7 touches, 6 marks, 4 tackles and a goal in his most recent game against Chelsea in round 18. Didn't play last week. He averages a goal on the year. And Pearcedale, after conceding 2 goals early on their way back. What does the goal umpire say? It's a goal. And Pearcedale's lead extended to 7. Glenn Anderson on the board today.
It's about to criticise that kick there. I thought he got his foot too far under the ball there and it didn't put on enough of an angle, but I don't know, I made the distance according to the goal umpire, so well done to Glenn Anderson, the ex-captain.
Well, what have they been able to cancel out since those opening minutes, Baz?
What was that, sorry, Dill?
What have Pearcedale been able to cancel out? It was all Karingal in the opening minutes.
Well, they're just working a lot better around the contested ball, I think. They've just put a stop to it. And now Hugh Jones out of the ruck. Coming in for him is Dylan Hipworth. And trying to sink Alanis into the sand there. So here is Hipworth in the ruck. Bastanak. Ball slowed down a bit through the dirt. Eventually got onto it. Enters inside 50. Pearcedale have been so good in the past couple of minutes, haven't they? Turnover on that occasion, though. They'll play on. Off the mark taken. That is a poor handball to Bradley. They've got to look out here. That won't go the full required distance. They're going to pay that. I don't think that went all the way, but Bastanak goes to his teammate in Eklund. Just remaining to go the centre way. Played a bit of ping pong ball there with their hands. Couldn't take the mark at the end of the day. So another turnover by Karingal. Perhaps not. Trying to get out towards the wing to look for an open passage, but this Pearcedale pressure is just insane. Finally get out, do the Bulls. It's Hind or Hind. And now Darcy Hope takes a mark. McGuinness wasn't there in time. He plays on to an open man directly in front of goal for the Bulls, and then they play on. Darcy Hope, way too much room, but he's dropped it. They're going to call a free kick in the way of Karingal front on contact, as it should be. So Darcy Hope now has the opportunity to kick a goal and bring it back to 1. Almost into time on, 17 and a half minutes through. Darcy Hope just simply has to fill the boots of D'Arcy today. And umpire says he slightly missed that one.
3-1 plays 2-1. 18 minutes into this opening quarter. From the back line, it was Bastanak. And for all his kick, lucky he made amends, was able to recollect it. They'll straddle the line to no avail. We'll have a boundary throw in about 55 out. So as Baz mentioned, they've been able to take the reins of the contested ball work and the clearance work. Have Pearcedale. Ryan Bastanak already with a few against his name. He's still loitering around this pack. Jones in the ruck, although Smith got the better of him. Knocked down, nearly in the path of Dixon. Bradley hoping to pierce his way through. Frawley in defence. He'll receive it back via the 1-2 hand pass. Nearly pushed after he released the kick up to half forward, and taking it away is Daniel. He's been a source of so many goals this year, and he will be one more time.
How good was that movement off half back? Brilliant there from your defender in Jake Frawley. Was so composed and running through the middle there. It was an even better kick. So great passage there, Luke Daniel. Terrific finish as well.
4 in a row for Pearcedale. They trailed at 12-0.
It's been a great 10 minutes or so for the Dales. But what did Karingal do now? They find themselves in a similar position to last week. So the Rucks go ahead at each other. Here's Bradley, turns around, incorrect disposal every day of the week. Umpire calls advantage, no mark taken, so it's going to go close to the boundary line. Entering inside the pockets. We'll have a boundary throw in. But that was West that nearly took a terrific grab there.
I'd predict it won't be the first time we'll be mentioning his name today, Baz.
He's a great mark, isn't he? Is Cruz West. Even better goal scorer. I just say the boundary umpires so far have been great today. Holding the man the umpire calls in the way of Karingal, going in the favour of Dale Alanis. So decided to go through the middle to his teammate in Pomeroy. Plays on, looking for hope. That's some great defensive work there from Georgakopoulos. Karingal somehow broke out of that hope, lurking. He's going to have to be big today. He's been defended nicely so far, though. So evades one, snaps it. A little bit of a falcon there. Hope pulling through, slipping over as well. Incorrect disposal, no. And it should be a ball up here, but they get it out. Another smother. How good is this Pearcedale Panthers defence? Suffocating.
And we've got a blood rule here.
Archie McGuinness has been really good early on, and we haven't mentioned his name too much, but his defensive work around the ball has been terrific. I've loved it.
So it's Georgakopoulos heading off with the blood rule. Suspect he'll be back on in a few minutes. But sometimes less is more. Baz, Archie McGuinness, one of their quality players, amongst so many others. Deep in Karingal's forward line. Smith slapping it ahead. Callie with the tackle. We'll have a ball up about 20 metres out. Nearly 22 minutes in this semi-final. Pearcedale's first finals appearance since 2013. Hoping to get through against Somerville. And we'll have another ball up.
So here we are deep inside Karingal's 50. Need to get something out. Snap out of the pack. Won't go through the two big sticks. Off for a behind. It's a good run.
It's just the little chances like that they need.
Yeah, it was a good run out of the congestion, but unfortunately couldn't finish it off. So marker is McGuinness of the Jack variety. Sends it down to the line to an open teammate in Bravo. So they're just taking their time here, Pearcedale. After playing some really hectic, fast-paced footy. Almost a smother there, the kick. Not going really to anyone in the end. Trying to run onto it are the Dales. Eventually got it out. That's going to be out on the full after a bit of a rush kick there from Luke Daniel. Just waiting for the ball to be carried over here. It's going to be Pomeroy with it. Umpire just directing him to stand and lead out. Mark taken by Bartling. Now Pomeroy, he's in trouble here. Some great forward pressure from the Dales. They've got to get it out somehow. Will they? Oh, that was awfully close, but now they've got the opportunity through Hind. Runs and runs and runs down the line. No one's catching him. Eventually has to give it off to a teammate in Glenn, who goes inside 50. Hope was running, but didn't get there in the end. Now the ball's in front of him. Alanis tackled. Nicely done. It was actually Kelly who tried to give it off by hands. And this Pearcedale pressure has been magnificent. Free kick.
Another blood rule.
Another blood rule.
And it'll be Hugh Jones from the back line.
And just want to say, that is the opportunities Karingal must capitalise on today. Pearcedale's backline works really well then, but if you're Karingal, you had that much space down the line. You need to capitalise on those ones if you want to get a win today.
Just waiting for that substitution to be made. Nathan McKenzie this time, I believe. Oh no, it'll be Jason Angus.
Jeez, I can see he's got red on his hands. Jeez.
Which means Jason Angus and Connor Georgakopoulos have both travelled to the bench because of the blood rule. And Hugh Jones will resume play in the back pocket nearly 25 minutes in. It's Pearcedale by 11 in this opening quarter of the semi-final. To the wing, a large throng, and waiting at the back sensibly to take the mark, although he's given away a free kick. has Cruz West. It's his second today. And Karingal, well, weren't on the same wavelength. Caelan Thornton in the hole. Has a man on short. It's Bastanak. Usually reliable by foot. This time, no exception. Hind trots off to go on the mark. They'll take a moment to assess what's ahead. And he bangs it long into the 50. Slips through fingertips and at the back. Bradshaw can add a second. And does. Pearcedale with 5 in a row. And it all started with this man. And at the moment, he's got 2 against his name.
Just a lack of awareness there. I think you in a pack, you're that deep inside forward 50 or in the back 50 if you're Karingal, you have to hold your man accountable. You cannot be letting him leak out and have that much room. Far too easy for Pearcedale. So Karingal yet to respond. 5 straight unanswered, as Dill just mentioned before. And a lot of their opportunities have come through this man in the ruck, Hugh Jones. How can Max Smith of Karingal stop him? So Bastanak just got at his feet there, couldn't pick it up properly. Alanis trying to push through, but he was tackled well by McGuinness. Maybe a dangerous tackle, maybe holding the ball. They won't be either of those options. Umpire calls it back. So Smith wins the hit out. Karingal, they've got the numbers here. Another sling tackle, but nothing. Fans not happy with that one.
Well, this way, Travis Bravo wide open. They didn't recognise him.
They've caught a free kick now.
Yep, Blake Eklund. Jeez, he's retreating to Jack McGuinness and Connor Benwell. At right half back. Plenty of men further afield. Here's one of them. Setinari. Scanning ahead, Bastanak with the short option. Plenty of others at the wing. Jones more central, but he takes it long and flying! Opponents were a launch pad for a moment. Glenn of the Mitch variety had it bounce in front of him. Linda Saunders applies the tackle, but it's Thornton who ends up with the footy in his hands, and he snaps through another. Pearcedale with 6 against their name, and now they have opened up a 23-point lead.
Their midfielder just working so well to get it inside 50. We know they're one of the best midfields in the comp, but I thought they might have struggled a little today. They're not the best contested footy side, whereas Karingal is certainly up there in those sort of numbers. So I thought Pearcedale might have struggled with that today, but they're just making it look easy.
Are they missing the appearance of Riley D'Arcy? We'll find out. At the moment, it's Pearcedale by 23 points deep into this first quarter. And after Darcy Hope and Matt Robinson are on the board for Karingal, Pearcedale responding with 6 goals. And Hugh Jones up in the ruck. Both ruckmen had a piece of it. Bastanak watched on as the ball eluded him and found Thornton on the left foot, snaps it towards Arnott. Finally gathers control, tosses it up in the air into the 50. Off hands, spills to McKenzie, who was engulfed by the tackle, and he's given away the free kick. And Karingal, with what we think is about a minute or 2 to play, have it in the back pockets. Cannot understate how important the next goal is. Well, never mind. There is the siren for the first quarter. What a quarter it was. And Karingal, they had the momentum early. 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes. And Pearcedale with 6 consecutive. 2 with Riley Bradshaw. Luke Daniel, Luke Jennings, Caelan Thornton with the most recent, and Glenn Anderson all on the board. And they missing Riley.
Hadn't won a final in over a decade until last week. And are now in prime position to perhaps go play a prelim against Somerville next week, but still a lot of footy. Karingal, we know what they're capable of, but yeah, got to prove themselves today. The Bulls not go out in straight sets.
They did the opposite last week, Karingal. They led at quarter time and then Somerville came back. But at the moment, it's Jones in a tangle with Smith. Smith able to paddle it down. No one in particular. The ball remained loose, but it's Glenn who extracts it out of there as it heads towards the wing, attacking it with pace as Callie, and then he was shoveled into the turf. The ball remains in dispute, and we'll have a ball up centre wing, far side. Only 20 seconds in. But you can see the intent of Pearcedale with the clearance work. Hits the head of Smith, and then it's hacked forward from Hind out of there. Here's Hope attacking the footy, keeping it in front of himself. Umpire said play on, and his teammates took advantage. Maybe disadvantage. It's out in the full. It'll be Pearcedale's ball in the back pocket.
So, Karingal entered inside 50 early on in this second. It did not much with it. So Bassanak, and umpire's going to call it back. But Bassanak did receive the handball, was going to go for a bit of a run, you might think. So play on from... Now they're actually going to send it back to Karingal there, out in the full. So a bit sloppy there, exiting their back 50. It's going to be Bradley to take the kick for Karingal. Someone's just got to lead out here for Karingal. You got Kelly leading, decides to ignore him. That might go all the way. It doesn't at the goal line. A great mark taken by Matty Robinson, who's just been superb in the games he has played this year and now can go for his second of the day. 10 out, directly in front. Absolutely no worries. Karingal are back. After not having kicked a goal for, I'd say, maybe 15 or so minutes, they have now kicked their third of the day, and Matt Robinson scores his second.
7 out of the 9 goals to the right-hand side of your screen.
We saw that last week as well in the Karingal Summit game. Not a lot of goals kicked down this end. On the left, the screen.
Margin cut to 17. They'll be without D'Arcy for the whole final series, but Darcy Hope's been able to create some opportunities. He might just have another here to work in tandem with his teammates. It's Sam Glenn, the captain. He misses to the near side. And margin now 16. One less scoring shot for Karingal. They find themselves down near 3 goals. Ryan Bastanak will take the kick in. Didn't see too much of this in the regular season, but he's a fiend for it today, and he might load up, although he has agility on display. Receives it back from McGuinness. Hand pass over the top, and now sticking the slipper into it to gain some territory up the wing. It falls into the hands of the Karingal midfielder, and he was immediately wrapped up in the tackle, and we'll have a ball up centre wing. Smith in the ruck, and Jones a little delayed to get there, but here he is flying over the back. Smith knocking it down, and Leslie ran out of real estate. Pearcedale by 16. And the last 2 times they've played, they have not led at quarter time for either of those matchups. Out of bounds it goes again. Jordan Bastanak nearly finding the footy again. It's a bit of a stalemate early. After that Matt Robinson goal, it's been stop-start. There was a point kick by Sam Glenn. At the moment, that is a high, shallow throw-in. Smith didn't take it out of the ruck, and emerging are the Panther midfielders. A spoil at the back from Mitch Glenn, but Pearcedale go forward, a one-on-one back position with Cow, and he's taken into the ground, dispossessed, wasn't paid holding the ball, and now panic begins to arise, and finally they compose themselves and begin discussions through the middle, and now out to the wing. It's Dixon who has to wait for it to sit on its end, and it does. He removes McGuinness from the equation and delivers into the 50, where the mark is taken by that man, Matt Robinson, who's kicked 2 out of Karingal's 3 goals.
Jeez, I thought Pearcedale very unlucky there not to get a free kick on from that Cow tackle. Unlucky, but nonetheless, Matt Robinson going for his 3rd today. How good.
concluded the home and away season 9th in disposals with 29.8 per game. Only played the 4 games in the regular season, and right now he's up forward with 2 against his name, hoping to make it a 3rd. But it's off to the near side, and Karingal trail by 15 on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard, 5.5 minutes in.
So Bastanak to take the kick out. He's already done that a couple times today. Goes to McGuinness. Just short kicks down the line here, and then they might finally start moving it a bit quicker. Was overshot. Bastanak receives the footy back here. Jeez, he'd have a couple of disposals by now, you'd think. Maybe in the double digits. Lost the footy. Players spinning. And that's a good tackle laid there, but umpire calls my ball. So Smith, Jones in the ruck. Jones has probably won this contest to start off the day, but could definitely come back into it. McGuinness just chucked it on the right boot there. Came to Karingal's advantage. And once again, over the boundary line. So, neither team... Well, Pearcedale haven't scored a goal. It was Matt Robinson who scored the first not too long ago for Karingal, and free kick going in the way of Pearcedale. I think it was a holding the man, and McGuinness, Archie McGuinness, gives it off. Bastanak running. Oh, uncontested mark, unfortunate. Couldn't be taken by Thornton. Just trying to find any way to go inside 50. Here come the Bulls. Alanis exits the pack and just has to slam it on the right. Hope tackles. Dixon was there, but McGuinness got there first. Players just leaping for the ball in the contest. And another free kick paid, going back to Karingal. So, goes up, and Darcy Hope, he's just done that a couple times to McGuinness today. He's had more space and leads out into it. Will he take the set shot? No, opts to play on, but that might have the legs. It won't. Going to the teeth of goal, Robinson. They'll call a mark. No, play on. Holding the ball. No, they call play on. Absolute chaos at the moment. Yeah. Now they call holding the ball. What a strange sequence of events there. Everyone thought it was a Robinson mark, and then Robinson holding the ball, and then it wasn't, and then they eventually paid it.
Thornton stays loose for Pearcedale. Watch out in the rearview mirror. They snaffle it away. Snapping and goaling. I believe it was Dale Alanis. And when his side needs a lift, he always knows where the sticks are. And Karingal with 2 unanswered goals this quarter, Baz.
Yeah, Pearcedale, they haven't played poorly, but just sometimes when they're going down the line like they've done a couple times throughout this second quarter, they're just not the most efficient by foot. Whereas in the first quarter, they were very, very clean. So we'll see how they go now. 2 unanswered for Karingal. How do the Dales respond in this final? Bastanak slaps it out of the pack, and it'll go nowhere. Over to Mitch Glenn. Off by hands. They've got to be careful there. Not sure about that choice. So Linda Saunders drops the mark. Forwards applying pressure for Pearcedale. They're panicking here, the Karingal Bulls. And high free kick. And fair enough call there. Head went straight into the body of the Pearcedale player there in Bradshaw. So down the line. Mark taken. That was nicely done there by Georgia Kopoulos. Got the bandage wrapped around his head. Went off with a blood rule earlier on in the first. Now at half back is Bastanak.
Sam Glenn who kicked that last goal.
It was Glenn, not Arsenis. So spins out of the pack. Here come the Bulls. Once again entering inside 50. Hope almost marks it, but it was punched out. Robinson tried to chase after the footy, but was too quick for him. And Karingal, another opportunity looms to get this margin to And even... well, I don't even know what I was going to try to say there, to be honest.
Was 23 points at quarter time. It's currently 9. And we're entrenched in Karingal's forward line. The hand pass comes. Alanis also does. Glenn, who just kicked the last goal, won't be able to release it this time. Out of defence, Jaxtus. And over the line it goes. Still in Karingal's forward 50. They've had more scoring shots. Scoreboard pressure is the ultimate pressure in Pearcedale with one blemish against their name. It's paddled down. Here's Callie edging closer to the square. They're all wrapped up on the ground. Snap nearly from Alanis. Alanis now watches on, and the umpire won't have to worry about it because it's rushed through for a minor score. And Karingal with their 5th behind, an 8-point lead. And Bastenac will take it in again. Pearcedale's pressure. Well, it's been reversed in this quarter. Karingal must have had a major quarter-time speech out to the wing. Bodies fly. Alanis' kick fell short. He'll look to attack it again. And the free kick heads the way of Zach Bartling, who can load up, looking to see which option's viable. Has Callie on. Glenn as well. He takes it a little deeper. And it's intercepted by Bastenac. Seems to be everywhere at the moment. Didn't know what to do with it, so he just hovered it through the air. Through the fingertips, it sunk. And now it's snapped forward for Karingal. They've got the numbers out the back. Just need to work it forward, which they do. And the major is kicked by Levi Dixon.
So now Dixon scoring. Karingal have really turned it on this third quarter. They were sloppy and undaring in that first, but I do have to admit they have been great to start off, and now only down by a margin of 2 points, 12 minutes in. Pearcedale, I don't think they've even scored yet. They haven't.
No, 3 goals, 3 this quarter for Karingal. Pearcedale yet to score. Yet to really have an impact in their forward 50 either.
Hasn't been entering in there very cleanly. Jones slaps it over the top of his opponent in small. Dixon just kicked the last major, trying to tackle and apply that forward pressure. Wasn't good enough in the end, and a mark taken by Citineri. And then to Frawley off half back, the kick went absolutely nowhere, but they've got open space here, leading out, and the kick was far too high for Luke Daniel.
Cow.
That's just the problem they've had so far. Pearcedale entering inside 50 in this second quarter. So running after is Georgakopoulos. Almost punched it out of reach, and Dixon at the back of the pack. Umpire's waiting an awfully lot of time. Thought he could have called holding the ball there, but no, he calls it back. So, Small wins that hit out. Alanis trying to get it out. Jones misses the punch by a mile. So it's just a lot of congestion here. Alanis spits it out of the pack. Slaps the ball. Hope turns to his right. Running towards the ball is a ball who goes in. Off by hands. Wide open goal. Karingal have taken the lead back through Jordan Pomeroy.
Glenn, I believe. Might be wrong. I'll have to confirm, but Karingal, they've taken back the lead. Four goals, 3 this quarter to 0-0. And it's that intensity by Karingal.
Great teamwork as well. There were a lot of opportunities where they could have just kicked the goal there and perhaps missed, but no, they worked well with their hands and eventually found the wide open man. Great job, Bulls.
A seesawing affair. Karingal by 4. Smale in the ruck. Carving his way through is Thornton for another possession. Tossed it forward. West couldn't mark. It'll be on its way back if Jaxus could just take it cleanly, which he didn't. Jansen via handball to Glenn, who's got 2 goals against his name. Into the forward 50. Deep engagement for Robinson, who taps it in front of himself. And he stretches toward his teammate. Here's Hope. had a teammate in sight who snaps. It's high and it's through. Never looked like missing in the air, although it wasn't the most conventional sort of ball. And Matt Robinson kicks his third.
And we're just starting to see the true colours of this Karingal team now. We said earlier on that Karingal, they're so great around the contests. It was Pearcedale that were winning all of it in the first quarter, but Karingal have really turned it up another level. And are back to their usual selves. Pearcedale really need a response. After such a good first term, just fell away a bit. Here's this man, Jones. Bastanak was running onto it, but lost control, and Bradley under the tackle and the pressure there from Thornton. So it's Jones and Small in the ruck. Comes out again, oodles of space, 50 out, strikes it well! Get around that! Karingal strike again, and this time through Scott Jansen. 50 out directly in front, lets it fly. And just talking about that again, contested footy, clearances. Karingal have been so good in that area throughout this second term.
Since Pearcedale's run of 6 goals, Baz, it's been Karingal with 6 as well. Matt Robinson with 3, Sam Glenn with 2. And that time it was Scott Jansen, but we're back in the middle and it's Pearcedale who desperately need a response. Jansen can't break the shackles and Pearcedale steal away the football. Although in the middle, it's bottled up by Hind as a man on short in Leslie. Up to centre half forward, through the hands of Smale, still alive. The Panthers, they're disciplined in this situation. Frawley to the wing, it trickles along the ground, but now Karingal repel into their 50 and taking the mark. Connor Benwell identified a teammate in the back pocket. Need to take a methodical approach this time to Pearcedale, though it's outside of the outstretched arms of his teammates, and Karingal up forward again. They make amends. Benwell, his second intercept mark in that passage of play out to the wing. Even numbers. First to the football is Pearcedale. Bradshaw with 2 goals against his name, but now off the runway go Karingal, deep into the pockets. It'll evade them all. It'll hit a car roof on the way out, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
And we saw there, this is why Pearcedale have been a lot less effective. In that first term, they had a couple players wide open on that wing, but Karingal are a lot better in manning up to their players now, and they're struggling to find open passages.
20 metres out from Karingal's goal. 6 in a row, potentially 7. Let's rush through. Bastanak from full back. They trail by 17. It's 6-1 to 8-6. Nearly 19 minutes into this second quarter. Jaxis defers to half back. Analysing the situation ahead. All players seem to be attracted to the wing, which they are. Front position with Hipworth, who's played a bit of the ruck today, and now numbers with Karingal from 50 outs. They've already kicked 6 in a row. Why not make it 7? And they do exactly that. You can't extinguish this flame that's been created in this second quarter. Jordan Pomeroy on the board. Seven goals to 0. Pearcedale yet to score, and Karingal now with a 23-point lead.
Pearcedale just barely gotten the ball down their ends. Just getting smashed around the ball at the moment. Need to act upon this right now. So winning that contest was Smith in the ruck for Karingal, but they eventually get it out. Do the Pearcedale Panthers, slapping it onto his foot almost was Hipworth. So we've got another contest. Now they're out again from 60 out. Won't go. Tries to find his open teammates. Does Jansen. It was a good contest created by Jaxus. And over the line they go.
But season on the line, Baz.
Yes, of course, whoever loses this game, we won't see them until next year. Whoever does win this game plays in a prelim versus Summy next week. So tapped out by Smale. Should be another stoppage as the players pile on top of each other. It will be.
Season on the line for Pearcedale. They eliminated Devon Meadows last week, but they've allowed 7 consecutive Karingal goals. And we're into time on 21 minutes. Should be a longer quarter. And Karingal menacing in their forward half. Robinson with a tall hand pass. And now raising the arms. Here's Glenn. Straightens up. Couldn't hook it back enough. Now a 24-point lead. All or nothing for Pearcedale. Jake Frawley, still time, obviously, the second quarter. And they piled on 6 in a row in the first. But they haven't been able to advance past the centre of the ground for quite some time. And Smith making his claim to take the mark and does with authority.
Late call.
And now he lines up and hurls it forward. Hope will rise from the side. And the mark is taken by his teammates. Somehow plucked it. It's Matt Robinson, who's already kicked 3 goals today. Had a prolonged absence in the regular season and hasn't affected him. He's looking for his 4th in a half. And Karingal with 7 consecutive goals in this second quarter. Pearcedale can't seem to touch them, and Matt Robinson with another. He has 4, and the lead is up to 30.
You cannot believe this. They were up by, I think it was 23 points at one stage, Pearcedale, and now down by 30. A 50-point turnaround by the Bulls. In what has been an impressive outing in this second quarter. The pressure has been far too good, and Pearcedale are not coping. We'd tell them to respond, but we've told them that all quarter. Finally entering inside 50, and Cruz West loses the 1-on-1. Good job from Linda Saunders, who finds Bradley open on the wing. He's got a man in Alanis to his left, ignores him. Steps off his marks. He's going to have to just put it on the boot. He does. Hope bleeding at the footy. He drops the chest mark. Now, Pomeroy going back. Dixon. Oh, juggles it around and eventually lays it into his chest. Oh, no, they've called it.
No, boundary throwing.
Called a boundary throw. And okay, so Levi Dixon might have his set shot, but just waiting a little while for the boundary throw and eventually got it. So neither ruckman really hit out to anyone's advantage. But here comes Glenn from the pocket. Banana goes to the teammate and a whistle is blown. And who will be going towards? Was it another boundary throw in?
Yep.
It will be called back. So Glenn was found to be out of the play. So Hope in the ruck versus Hughes, tapping along the ground. The Dales just trying to desperately exit out. But more traffic has prevented that from happening. So right at the 50-metre arc here for Karingal. Tapped by Hope. Running onto the ball. Gives it off by hand. Pomeroy around the body. He's touched at the line. Good defensive work there from Jake Frawley of the blue and whites. And now lead by 31, do Karingal.
Have to get to this half-time huddle, do Pearcedale. 31 points is the margin they stare at, or rather the deficit. And we should have another ball up in Sioux. But ripping it out, Mitch Glenn, brother of Sam, and then he's wedged between a couple of Panthers, given the benefit of the doubt by the umpire. And the runner just says, slow it down. 25, nearly 26 minutes in. Jones in the ruck. Smith tapped it down. And here's their opportunity, Pearcedale. A 3-on-3. Almost a big fly at the back from West. But his teammate instead, Anderson, roped it in. And it's a high kick to half forward. Here is West. Marking prowess on display.
Just take the set shot, mate.
He'll be 50 out, and now he goes to centre it, has an open man wide, and he finds him.
Okay, fair play, found the open man there. I was like, yeah, just thinking you cannot risk another turnover. Need to go for this shot, but no, fair play, found McKenzie wide open there.
Nathan McKenzie. 6 goals in his previous 4 games, 1 goal last week amid 22 disposals, 7 tackles, and 6 clearances. He's got the product. And this time, he kicks a goal that is much needed. We can't understate that. Pearcedale with their first of the quarter.
So margin is now down to a total of 25 points in favour of Karingal. 27 minutes into this second term. Siren set to go shortly, you'd think. But now, at least they've got a goal under their belt for the quarter, Pearcedale. They're going to need a couple more to get this back to a close game. Players preparing. Ball flies. Smith versus Jones in the ruck. Pearcedale, this looks better out of the contest. Good punch from Pomeroy. Went right to Banastic, though, who enters inside 50. Who can lead out in front? No one. Loose ball. Went over the top of their head, so they couldn't get a clean look. Cruz West. They're going to call an umpire. They're going to call an umpire. They're going to call a free kick. For high contact, Cruz West should now take this one. He will. So Cruz West, 10th in the Mpnfl DIV2 for goals throughout the home and away season. Scored a total of 48. This to make it 19. Pearcedale, they're looking better. Panthers starting to get back into it.
It's been the trend all day. A string of goals from either side. Pearcedale with 2 early. And then Karingal with 2 early. Pearcedale with 6. And then Karingal with 8 before Pearcedale hit back. And Cruz West on the board for the first time today. Back in the middle. 28 minutes into this second quarter. Bobbling around. And McGuinness had a teammate on short. McKenzie just kicked that goal. And that's a scrambled ball. It was touched on its way through. Jansen had to make do and did what he had to. And now he shares it out wide to Hind. To the wing, Alanis. Not a lot of movement up forward. He just prays with the kick. Hope over the top of his head. Bouncing for West. Hope 30-on-30 action. And we'll have a ball up or a ball in. 30 metres out from Karingal's goal. And if they were accurate, we'd be worried about this margin. It's 10-8 to 8-1. Should be a longer quarter given all the goals. Smith couldn't thread it through. Jones bounces the other way. It bowled Bastanak. And now heading in with intentions for the ball is Bastanak with the long sleeve jersey. Hipworth put his opponent into the turf and we'll have a ball up at the wing. Centre wing, far side. Can't be too long before half-time, and Pearcedale would love another. And Bastanak, hoping to be the advocate of one. Instead, he distributes for Luke Daniel. And he'll have a shot from about 35 metres out. Hasn't had a goalless game all season as Luke Daniel, and he's only produced one goal in the 2 games, which means for 16 rounds he's had 2 or more goals each game. A phenomenal statistic, and at the moment his set shot to bring his side back into it is curling back, and Luke Daniel kicks his second for the day. Pearcedale are back within 13.
Just a game of momentum, this one, eh? It was Pearcedale who came out Karingal that came out firing at the gates, and then Pearcedale kicked 6th and Karingal kicked 7. Now Pearcedale are really starting to come into their own here, so game of momentum, absolutely. Can't be much time left. 31 minutes on the clock, or 31 minutes into this quarter, I should say. Down by 13, the Pearcedale Panthers. Karingal have just got to put the plug in the bathtub, you might say. Here's Bastanak running onto it. Pomeroy hit the deck. Karingal tackled. Should be holding the ball. Umpire swings the hand. Bastanak, great chase there. Love the intensity on that. Gives Bradley a little bit of a push as well. So now another chance to take a mark inside 50. Smith presents and takes a clean grab. Hits the deck as well. Fell under Cruz West. So Smith hands it off. Centering it. That is a poor kick. Right over to Jones. And there goes the siren. So an entertainment-filled second quarter. Karingal were looking really fiery. Kicked 7 unanswered, and then Pearcedale kicked a couple of their own. Now only down by 13 points in what should be a great semi-final. Prelim spot on the line against Somerville next week. We'll take a short break for half-time, but we'll be back with you shortly.
Max Smith, they will get us underway for the second half in this semi-final. Looking to book a spot in the preliminary final. It's Karingal by 13 points at halftime. Pearcedale emerged with the footy, but it's taken away by Hind. And it's a high ball up to centre half forward off the hands of Kelly. And here's Frawley. Releases, but it's numbers with Karingal. Breaking away one and then giving to Jansen from a standing start. Out to half forward. Loping after it is Binwell. He had 2 to contend with and he did extremely well. Gets some support from Setinari. Used him. And now back into the hands of Benwell, who can progress past the wing. Bastanak of the Jordan variety up to half forward. And he turns it over. It's a mark to the Karingal defence. And they'll switch it. Bit of danger in the kick. They have a safe man at half back, and now to the wing. It floats high for Callie, who grasps it. Didn't worry about Blake Eklund nearby. And now he heads inboard. It bowls everyone. And a brutal bump laid. And now Jordan Bastanak off his fingertips and into the hands of Karingal. Pomeroy with 1 goal against his name today. And now in the mix is Josh Bradley, who's brought to ground. Thornton out wide, turns it over. They can capitalise here. Karingal into their 50. Interesting choice in Darcy Hope, who had a man all over him. And Bastanak, rather Frawley, takes it over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in about 50 out from the Panthers' goal.
Great call there by Dill, as per usual. So boundary throw in.
Muted there for a second, but thank you.
No, you're all right. Boundary throw in on the arc of 50. Just lightly tapped to Alanis, who tries to push it out of the congestion. And he was wrapped up quickly as the ball went over the boundary line. So, 2 stoppages in succession. Trying to block the sun out of his eyes is the Pearcedale Panther and Jones. Smith missed a lot. He's brought to ground. Tries to punch it out. And who's brought that in? No one, says the umpire. He'll take it right back.
Bit of a cliche, but it is just a genuine arm wrestle at the moment. Any bit of space is being exploited.
That's absolutely right. Alanis hits the deck, trying to take it out. Ooh, just a little pause there, waiting to see what the umpire would say. So Jones and Smith are battling on early in this third quarter. Bastanak was nearly tackled. That's got to be holding. Won't call it. Cruz chasing after his opponent in Leslie, who sends it high up forward. Hope punches out in front of him to the assistant of his teammates. Now here goes Hope. Agility on the right. Slide angle. Will that go all the way? Oh, it just slapped over the line. Nicely done, Connor Benwell. Would have been a very good major for the Bulls if it was scored. There was some great defensive work there from Benwell, who has stood up in a couple occasions now. So they'll go straight through the middle. Will that be a turnover? No. Bounces out in front. They look here, dangerous here, the Pearcedale Panthers. Here comes Bastanak. Open space! Bastanak! Jordan with the long sleeves. Runs on to the pill and kicks a lovely straight set not a set shot, rather an open goal on the run. It's now Pearcedale. It's back to single digits, the margin. 8 points in it, Dill.
Sure is. 3 consecutive goals. Mackenzie and West before the main break, and now Jordan Bastanak with his opening goal of the day. Back in the middle. 8 points. Would have been revved up at halftime. Only 4 minutes into this third quarter. Jones climbs the step ladder into open space. Thornton, who's also got a goal against his name, looking to wrestle it out. Instead, he wrestles with a couple of Bulls to no avail. The ball remains in the pack, and we'll do it all again in the centre. Contested possessions everywhere you look. And it all emanated from Ryan Bastanak. Did that passage of play for his brother, and he might swing by for the hand pass here. It's Hugh Jones who's been given the free kick. Some chatter from Max Smith to the umpire, just looking for the rationale. But Jones hammers it forward, leads from every angle. Leaks out to Bastanak. Jordan, who just kicked that goal over the top for West, who straightens. It wasn't 15. Mackenzie had to improvise. He swings around onto the right. It's sailing high and through. Pearcedale with another. And Nathan Mackenzie doubles up.
Just a game of momentum. That's what I said at half-time. That statement is really proving to be true. It's now only 2 points the difference. Karingal lead. So after we were so desperate for an answer from Pearcedale, now we need one from Karingal.
Which is quite odd given they have the lead, Baz.
Yeah. They kicked 7 straight unanswered during that second quarter. Got out to as far as 31 points. Now back down to 2. Jones was kneed in the chest, couldn't get it. Thornton lost that battle there between Bradley. Now, here comes Hope. Oh, he was pushed out by McGuinness. That's some nice defensive work. But then he got tackled. Hope trying to find the boundary line, just tapping it along, trying to run onto it. Eventually finds its way over. So Karingal need to win the clearance here. Get it right back inside 50. Hope was looking dangerous there momentarily. Smith, that's a great hit out. Just got to gain control, but took far too long.
Yeah, Caelan Thornton.
Is the umpire got it? Oh, it's been ripped out. Took a very long time to call.
There's a reason Caelan Thornton is 5th in tackles in the league. 8 a game he lays.
He's quite brilliant.
On display here today. Semi-final. The loser done for the season. The winner will play Somerville next week. Bastanak. And now Thornton, the man we just spoke of, fakes one way and passes up the wing for Setinari, who has room to manoeuvre. He tosses it into the forward line, and West takes the mark. And unbelievably, If he scores here, a goal that is, they'll take the lead. He turns around, whips onto the right, and does exactly that. Cruising into the lead through West.
And this red and white crowd just below us have gone awfully quiet in the past 7.5 minutes. Enjoyed such a big gain of momentum throughout that second and are now down by a total of 4 points. 12-1-73 plays 10-9-69 on your Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard.
Pearcedale, 6 less scoring shots and 2 more goals to their name. That's accuracy for you.
Karingal accuracy, it's been their problem a couple times this season. Straight after the ball up, players brought to ground. Into the dirt. Smith almost got the tap out, but it was Jones. That's got to be high.
Yep. Holding
the man.
Pearcedale's way.
It'll go to Bravo nonetheless. It was taken high though. So it goes to Bastanak, who's had such a good game per usual. Play for North Melbourne, Brisbane in the AFL. Booming kick inside 50. Here comes West. Handballs out to space. Nearly got his own disposal, in fact. And then Bradley knocks him around.
Another
free
one.
kick going in the way of Cruz West. Now, he did have a set shot on a similar angle and about the same distance at the other end of the field, but gave that up. Will he go for the set shot? It looks like he will.
Yeah, as we mentioned, this is the goal side.
To make it 10, Cruz West won't extend it to that margin. It's now 5. Pearcedale only scoring their second behind for the game on that occasion.
Connor Leslie from full-back. Hope is the target. Went just in front of him, now navigating through traffic, but unable to remove the footy. Mitch Glenn, brother Sam, with 2 goals today. We're at the wing, and it's Pearcedale by 5 points, nearly 10 minutes into this third quarter. Hacking the kick up the wing for Karingal, a one-on-one. It's broken up in the air by Binwell. It's roved by Harms. And he's still constrained in the tackle. No room to break free or wriggle. Another ball up as the Seagulls flock around at RJ Rowley Reserve. Centre wing. Jones with front position. Used strength. Bradley used intelligence to shuffle the kick forward. Frawley. It's taken away. Here's Hope. Indiscriminate hand pass, but it fortuitously went into the path of Bradley, who shoved to the ground. Eventually, it's Punteroni. Off to Battams, who has to motor onto it. Fakes one way, hand passes the other. Robinson with 4 against his name. Has Jaxtus right on his back. McKenzie, and they make their way out of defence again. Jaxtus up the wing.
So Jaxtus, he's a Dandenong Stingray, sends it forward, and it'll go out of bounds after it was Dylan Hipworth couldn't regain control of the footy. So, just a short stop in play.
Yeah, they need it after that passage of play, don't they? High octane footy.
Absolutely. Smith to the back of the pack. And it's going to be Bastanak who spills out to his brother, who goes and sends a spear inside 50. Just missed his target, but they're brought to ground. The Bulls, they're in trouble. Umpire calls it back.
It was Dylan Hipworth, yeah.
They are in real danger here, Karingal. Serious trouble. So all the players just congesting together. Bullets spilling and rolling out towards the goal line. Comes back though. Umpire calls for a back.
It's one of the more unpredictable games of the season.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no idea who's going to win this one. Wouldn't have a clue. So almost running onto it. The whistle's blown. It's going to be a free kick again for Pearcedale. It was Jennings running onto it, but taken high was the Panther, and it was Jennings who tried to run onto the and gain a bit of momentum behind that run, and was tackled and taken far too high. So Jennings, this would really hurt Karingal. 11 points won't be the difference. So margin now lies
at a straight kick, I believe.
Yeah, it's 6 points.
And Connor Leslie from full-back. Scoreboard's adjusted here at RJ Rowley Reserve. It's Pearcedale by 6. 13 minutes into this third quarter. A large congregation of players at the wing. Springs around through Alanis' hands and then eventually makes its way over the boundary line. And Blake Eklund had the last say. Wasn't a prominent one. We'll have a boundary throw in. Still at the wing. Jones and the ruck had the back position, and his opponents in Smith got the tap down. Thornton can't break it free. And finally we have a whistle from the umpire. Smith out of the ruck, edging closer to the wing. Another boundary throw in coming up. It's been 3 goals this quarter for Pearcedale. Unanswered 5 in a row. And they'll have another chance. It's chiseled forward, a 2-on-2. Makes its way to the back. The tackle comes from Luke Jennings, who just missed that goal. We'll have another ball up inside the forward 50 for Pearcedale. Still hanging on. Here's Bastanak. Hit the wrong side of the boot. It'll be the Bulls' ball in the back pocket. 6 points down. Where to from here? A game of spurts. Pearcedale have kicked 6 in a row in the first quarter. Karingal with 7 in the second quarter. Right now, it's Pearcedale with 5 in a row. Trailing back to the third quarter that was. And now it's Pomeroy. Does have one against his name. There's a man out wide. It was probably his best option. Couldn't quite take complete control. It was Smale. It's still loose and to be one. And they all barrel into each other. McKenzie and finding a way through. Benwell. Here he is from a standing start. Blasting it to half forward. All swarming forward. Bastanak. It's still hit back in. And the umpire says no more.
The Cruise West try to hit over his back and keep it in play, but was just rather unsuccessful there. And we'll have another stoppage, 15 and a half minutes into this third quarter. Pearcedale proving themselves to be the better team at the moment. And a free kick paid against the Dales. So steps off his mark. Goes over to the right. That's a dangerous kick. Didn't hit any target for that matter. Now here come the Dales pushing forward. Entering inside 50. Are you kidding? On 50. Right against the boundary line. That is the sickest goal you'll see all day. He has just completed the impossible. Pearcedale now lead by 12. And it was Archie McGuinness, the midfielder, kicking a ridiculous goal from 50 out. And he has brought it back on a banana.
The footy covered in blue and white at the moment. It's all Pearcedale in this quarter. Sprawled out on the turf. Out the back hatch she goes. Diving on it. Jansen rather. Here is Alana. Seeds it out into the path of his teammate who hoists it to full forward. Robinson. Now a little further out. And tumbles past them all. A boundary throw in coming up. Pearcedale with a 12-point lead. After they led it, or rather trailed it by 4 goals. And in the ruck, it's Hipworth for Pearcedale this time. Bastenak applying pressure. Precipitated a stoppage. Still be loitering around this football, will Bastenak. Jansen got the crumb. Bastenak again. And it's Jansen spinning, deflects up in the air. Neither teammate went for it, and it resulted in him being engulfed by the tackle, but he's given a free kick. And now they can plot themselves a trackway out of defence. Happy to concede some ground is Benwell. Has Frawley in the pocket. And he guides it forward for Glenn Anderson, who also has the 1 to his name. He takes a moment. Gives it plenty up the wing. Cruz West didn't handle it fully. Hipworth spinning through traffic. And they'll go forward again. West, a bullet inside 50. And the mark taken by Luke Daniel. Perfect ball movement. It all started with Connor Benwell in the back half. And it's Luke Daniel. 2 goals today. In a game where the loser will be eliminated for the season. And he knows he needs to stand up tall. And for the moment, the Panthers, they're one step closer to the preliminary. Pearcedale by 18. Nearly into time on in this third.
Karingal just look like they've got nothing left in the tank at the moment. It's the exact same storyline as the first. Just getting absolutely smashed around that contested footy.
Yeah, well, there has to be a major wind to the right of screen.
Almost no goals being kicked towards the left. So Pearcedale up by 18. Karingal, we've just had a miserable third term. That's holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. Got hunted down, did Bradley. So now kicking it is Hipworth. And Cruz! Oh, almost had a terrific mark there, but was just pushed. Lost control of it. What can Alanis do, the captain? So kicks it forward. No mark taken after a kick from Badams. It was a throw, the umpire says, from that man Dylan Hipworth. In the ruck, Alanis looking for hope. Karingal didn't have any hope on that occasion, and he wants a push in the back. Umpire's having none of it. So here's Hipworth again. Gets another hit out to his name. He's been rather impressive throughout this third quarter. Pomeroy almost tackled. Here come Pearcedale. They're out. Bastenak actually turns it over to that man in Connor Leslie, who just slows it down a little. Plays on. Kicks it out towards the wing to Glenn. But he's brought down. They're going to call high. Good call. Good call, umpire Sam Glenn. He'll now enter inside 50, looking for the open man. Jaxtis was pushed out. You'll never see a more obvious call. Robinson, both hands. And now the young Luke Jaxtis can take the free kick and kick it across the face of goal.
Frawley. Jaxtis.
And I did say Luke Jaxtis. That's actually his brother.
Finn Jaxtis. It's a halfback. McGuinness. Jack McGuinness with the helmet on, slipped in the mud for a moment, and now he wants to be a little adventurous, although maybe he shouldn't have been because he turned the kick over. Connor Leslie. Pomeroy takes off. Puts it in front of Dixon, who had to adapt, and he did well. The kick, somewhat questionable, but it still may work. It's punched away by Setineri into vacant space. Dixon again, who's moved his way up the field. It'll be bashed towards the wing and in defence. The Bulls take the mark. 22.5 minutes through this third quarter. They trail it by 3 goals and juggling at Battams. He's nudged out of it illegally. They'll have the wind in the last quarter, Karingal. And Alanis beaten up from behind. Here they go. They can advance down the ground in convoy, but they'll turn it over again. Alanis brutally met in the tackle. Another ball up. That's 75 out from the Panthers goal. Alanis again. Kick tumbles forward. And the Bulls in defence. Able to put a nip in the bud, at least temporarily. Hind did well. He was hampered, but he still took the mark. Setineri on the mark that time. Short kick won't go. 15. Dispossessed and taken away. And now there's an open man at the 50 for Pearcedale. And he made the difficult a little worse than it could have been. That's Glenn Anderson, who has kicked 1 goal today. Difficult angle, the wrong side for a right footer. And it doesn't affect him at all. His mentality was to kick the goal. And he fulfilled it. It's Pearcedale by 24 points in this third quarter.
They've already passed their season average in terms of goals. Usually kick 13 at 15 goals in the third term. As Pearcedale is starting to look more and more likely by the minute that they'll be playing Somerville next week in a prelim.
Oh, Bass has gone early. They've still got the wind in this last quarter.
I said likely. I didn't say it was certain. Karingal, we know what they're capable of. Second on the ladder versus 5th. Jones taps it out to his left. Somehow got out. Jones, big kick up forward. Cruz West! Oh, he's absolutely crashed over his man there. A couple players seem to be a bit winded. And Cruz West certainly loves to get up there. Hasn't taken a mark and didn't finish that one off, but he certainly knows how to leap forward.
Yep, Linda Saunders, second best, came off.
So, around the body. Won't go in that one. So, another behind. Pearcedale's 4th for the game. In comparison to Karingal's 9th. Could be looking at a much different game if they kick straight the Bulls. So, out of fullback. Looking for Pomeroy. That's a poor choice. Basnak presented. Got it out. And here's this man Jones. He's been good in the third term. Spins around. Re-entering inside 50. Here comes West. Won't get it this time. Then it's kicked straight high and up. Is that the required distance? They run into each other. Lack of communication. Dixon trying to push through. Pearcedale on ball. Won't be paid. So 45 out from goal are the Panthers. Spins around. Is Hind. Gets tackled immediately. So tapping it. Bring it across his body. Another high floater. Punched out, but here come the Dales on the left, snaps it and misses. Goes across the face for Archie McGuinness. And Pearcedale just starting to find their own troubles with accuracy in the past couple of minutes. Dylan Beaumont.
26.5 minutes into this third quarter. Kicks to a band at the wing. Picked up by Anderson. Slammed into the ground. We'll have a boundary throw in. 26 points. The lead for Pearcedale. And although this was the tail last quarter, Pearcedale was still able to kick 2 goals against the wind. And at the moment, there's a couple of plays amongst the pack. Definitely not out of their reach. Thornton. And now Alanis. Snapping it forward across the wing. Hope with 3 to contend with, make it 4 and 5. But he still made it out with the footy. Off to Kelly. And now Glenn. A 2-on-1. And the most significant in defence was Benwell. And he's given 50 as well. It looked slightly innocuous. But the umpire said it'll be 50 metres. Benwell, who's given copious amounts of space in front of him. Alanis on the mark. Wandering ball forward. And Pomeroy takes the mark and he's off. McKenzie, he lofts the kick across the wing. McLeod, we haven't seen too much of today, has support come in from behind and he dragged it in. Still got a ball up on the wing. 70 out from goal. 28 minutes in. Jones flies and it falls down. The Bulls forward. Glenn. Frawley did well to obstruct. Alanis did well to make a way through. Frawley again on his feed. Callie saw it for a moment. And in an instance, they flushed it out of defence to the wing. A 1-on-1. They'll both track it down. Back position with the Bulls. And he collects it cleanly. The kick, however, wasn't the greatest execution, but it didn't matter. Because time has run out in the penultimate quarter of this semi-final. And Pearcedale overwhelming Karingal.
And goes forward. Kelly. No mark taken, just bounced. Can they soccer it off perhaps? Robinson, can he get his 6th of the day? He's probably been best on ground for Karingal. Players falling on top of the share in what should be a stoppage. It will be only, let's say, maybe about 20 metres. Maybe 25 out from goal. Karingal cannot let another Pearcedale goal occur. They need a score here.
Oh, no.
That is insufficient attempt if I've ever seen it. Yep. Good call. Poked it loose, went out into space. Fair enough. So now lying up is Lachlan Hind. Incredibly tough angle, but he's going to back himself in. Needs the distance and the accuracy, this kick. Cannot stress how important this is. Lachlan Hines looks as straight as ever. Lockie Hines kicked 2 goals last week and has arguably kicked the most important one yet. Does that set Karingal back on track?
Wow, hey. It could. It very well could. Could be the spark. We've seen a few goals from that angle. Last quarter for Pearcedale, and they have a 15-point lead at the moment. Sat in the mud for a moment. We'll have a ball up. It's Pearcedale by 15. Jones out of the ruck. Glenn. Lower handball to Alanis. Into the 50. Hope juggles once, twice. Umpire went to blow the whistle and then he refrained from doing so. Numbers multiply around the footy. Still there to be won. We'll have a ball up. .50 out from Karingal's goal. They trail it by 15. Battams withstood a couple and then turned the footy over. Pomeroy over his head. And now onto the arc of 50, Linda Saunders. And his teammate taken high. We'll get some DIV1 scores shortly because both finals are close in the last quarter. Intelligent kick just to find something upfield. Alanis. It was swiped away from him and it fell to Thornton, who had a teammate in crime. It's Bastanak, lays the kick on short and it's taken away by Mitch Glenn. And then he's driven into the turf, but we've got some DIV1 scores from Baz.
So 4th quarter at the Rosebud at the moment. Bombers leading 55-37 over Dramana. So, tapped out by Jones. Should go over the boundary line. It will.
$15 points. The lead for Pearcedale. Just have to hold on. 11 and a half minutes through. They dominated the last quarter against Devon Meadows. At the moment, they've been outscored, but they still have the lead. Alanis hits up his teammate, and through the centre of the ground they go. It's centre half forward. It's Hope over his head. And play continues to roll. It trickles over the line. Frawley. And it's out on the full. Can't be doing that. Jake Frawley, who's been consistent all day. A mistake in the critical moment, and it's Darcy Hope, who's kicked 2 today, looking for a third. And he's missed. And inaccuracy continues to haunt the Bulls, who are down by 14 on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard.
That goal would have been so important towards the Bulls' win, but it was missed nonetheless by that man, Darcy Hope. So big, long kick towards the wing. Pushing out and soccering was Hipworth. Trying to get it to Glenn Anderson, but he's not quick enough. And the boundary line beats him. The fans getting a bit restless here. Especially the Karingal ones. Pearcedale just need to hang on for the next 15 minutes, you'd think. Hipworth won the hit out. Rolling towards 50. Alanis was pushing the back, says the umpire. So now they run a bit of a switch, running through the middle, over the top. Here comes Pomeroy, who then uses hands again. They spin around. Kelly on the left. Is that made it? It won't. Punched over the goal line. Kelly just didn't get enough on it. It was a bit rushed. The drop of the ball wasn't perfect. So Pearcedale, once again, going to that wing. Hipwood. Oh, sorry. Now they're running out. Here comes McGuinness. He's running into a goal and misses. And it was not Hipwood, it was Hipworth. Hipwood plays for Brisbane. Baz?
Bastanak did too.
Bastanak did. More predominantly for North Melbourne, but was a Brisbane Lions player. So now Alanis leading out, wasn't quick enough, has 2 Dales players on him, just has to get it off somehow, and turns it over to what looks like McGuinness. Oh, that's a risky kick. Kelly almost got there, but now it was Thornton.
Got to look at Bravo out here.
Yeah, Bravo does have a lot of space on the wing. Kick it to Bravo, Dill says. Eventually gets to him. Jansen was just a little behind. Kick. Doesn't hit anyone on the chest. Punched out. What can Anderson do here? What can he create? Tackles his man! Holding the ball. Not called, however. And that's a blaring tackle. And they have called a free kick. I'm sorry, but that is incorrect. That is a wrong call there, but they've missed it. Bastanak held back, trying to get at it. Alanis goes in the right out towards the wing. Bravo try to fall into the mark. They're going to call another free kick against the Dales. Karingal moving forward. Here comes Hope. Leads out and takes a contested mark. Really impressive there.
Within range.
Jack McGuinness wasn't quick enough, and I think you're right there, Dill. I don't know, though. That is a very long way. I don't think he wants to take the set shot. Darcy doesn't have the confidence. Oh, my God. He has set that really high up. Can anyone take a mark? Yes! It's Robinson.
The 6.
Going for number 6. He's playing a game of cricket. 6 for Matt Robinson, and even if a win is not achievable for Karingal today, you'd like to think that he'd get the 3 votes. He's been pivotal up forward. Gee whiz. What a finish we've got on our hands. 8 points the difference. Dale's still in front. And you can just sense that there are some clammy hands starting to build up a bit at Rye, at RJ Rowley Reserve. Dylan to take this one.
Both sides fighting for their season. The loser will not see tomorrow, at least in footy terms. Smale out of the ruck himself. A hand pass with some distance, and then three balls pounce on the opponent. Battams lodges it forward, up in the air for the taking. On a platter for Kelly, who just had to crawl forward, and he found a man. Karingal, difficult to control at the moment. Pearcedale have their hands full. That shot, a little skinny, in fact, very skinny. It's out on the full. It'll be Pearcedale's ball. Still plenty of time. 17 minutes through this fourth quarter. 16-7 to 14-11. On the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard as we have a bit of serenity for the moment. The footy being retrieved by the crowd. And the Panthers to resume it. In the back pocket, a hush from the crowd. They don't know what's next. Neither do we. Smale almost went with a second effort. Licked it up by hand. Hind saw the vision. We got a ball up. On the wing. Every kick, every handball, every score is important. in the behinds for Karingal. They're 8 down. Bastanak wasn't sure where it exactly was. Glenn did know. He knew where his teammates were as well. And it's a free kick going the Bulls' way. And it's the reliable hands of Darcy Hope. Reliable feet too. "18 minutes into this last quarter. And the Bulls have not led this game since the second quarter. But currently, they're in it. They're absolutely in it. Darcy Hope with his third of the day. It's a 2-point game at Rye.
This one shaping up as a classic in Mpnfl DIV2 finals folklore. Who will be victorious? Getting awfully close to time on now. Only mere seconds away from being 19 minutes into this fourth quarter. Pearcedale lead by 2 points. That's right, 2 points if you're just joining us. Preliminary final spots on the line. Mark taken. Pushes it forward. Do they have the numbers, the Dales?
Oh no.
Benwell trying to regain control. He was lucky to find the boundary line and did what I've just realised, Dill. This is almost like the 2005 semi-final between Geelong and Sydney. Same colours, same situation at stake here. We'll see.
Have to see it to believe it.
We'll have to see who can get on top here before it is truly like that semi-final. Brought in.
Nearly into time on, Baz.
Yes, only 15 seconds away from time on.
6 goals kicked this quarter, 5 for Karingal.
So they definitely have all the momentum at the moment in what has been a seesaw of a game. Bravo! Doesn't take the mark.
He's paid it.
Oh, he has paid it. Good on ya. Leapt out at that ball. Bravo. So that is a poor attempt at a joke by me, but hits Anderson on the chest. So just taking their time, Pearcedale, but they need a move. It's not close enough to the end to playing kick to kick. Pomeroy goes to knocks it over the back of his opponent. So we'll have, once again, another stoppage. Boundary throw-in. Who will win this hit-out? It's going to be Jones who runs out. Try to give it off by hands. So I think it was Benwell. It couldn't have been Benwell. He's down back. Oh, it actually was Benwell. My mistake. So here come the Dales. Bastanak turns around onto the left. Oh. Pomeroy hits the deck hard after trying to leap up to punch. Here is Bastanak of the Jordan variety. Oh, not enough communication. Trying to run on. Kicks it. Bartling. Will he?
Arnott.
Oh, it was Arnott, sorry, not Bartling. So, Robert Arnott, only the second time we've called this man's name today. His first possession was on the far side of the wing. And now he has the opportunity to perhaps seal it for Pearcedale. Gives it an almighty thump. Might not have the legs. Oh, he's taken a mark on the goal line. All clear. That is outstanding.
Oh, it's a mark. He's got to take the kick.
He's marked it. Cruise West, after making attempt after attempt after attempt all day at taking a hanger, he takes one in about a pack of 10. West sinks it. The navy blue and white are up and about at the moment as they take an 8-point lead. How about that?
8 points the difference. Still plenty of time. given that there's been 7 goals kicked this quarter. And it's Pearcedale, 109, leading Karingal, 101, the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. Applications now open for 2023, but right now the focus is the preliminary final next week. Who will play Somerville? Bastanak desperately wants to. West denied access to the footy. Mark taken in defence by the Bulls. West will still apply the pressure. And they'll negotiate up forward with Callie, who cleans it up. Didn't have a target in mind, but Hope still ran up to the footy. Has a teammate and he's taken high. Too far out to score. He'll take the unselfish approach. It's a helicopter sort of ball. And a big set of knuckles, able to knock it out.
Dixon probably should have just taken his time there. Sort of rushed that kick.
"20 metres out from the Bulls' goal. Need one now. Robinson's kicked 6. Whereabouts is he? Hope. Not quite. It's a handy point. Another one will be as well. 7 points is the lead, and Bastanak can slow it down in defence. For the Panthers, we know how quick they can move it from one side to the other. To the wing he goes. A 2-on-2. West flies north to take the grab.
How good has he been the past couple minutes?
And he sets his sights up forward to the wing, but it's cut off. Helping himself is the Bull, releasing from 50. Won't have the journey. Hope comes up to the footy, down to ground level. Spinning around, Badhams curling it. Another handy point, and the margin at 6.
A goal would make it all square.
Now they have to set up behind the ball to the Bulls. One-on-one matchups everywhere. Not a single person inside Pearcedale's 50. Nearly 25 minutes in. Limited outlets to select from for Frawley. So he puts it to the wing again, so the ball has to be won. And it is for Karingal again, stepping through one, but it's taken away. And on the fast break, Pearcedale can pounce. It'll be a running race to the football. That was if Cal didn't take the mark, which he did. And he has Pomeroy in the back line. And he puts some height in the kick out to the wing. Alanis. Bounce didn't really oblige, but he still has McGuinness in the tackle. And another ball up to follow at the wing. The crowd getting into it. Sunday afternoon football. The winner advances. The loser sees no more in season 2022. Alanis. Ferocious at the footy. It's a throw. It'll be Karingal's ball. Nearly 26 minutes in. It's Pomeroy who gives it everything he has. Needs someone up forward. Hope takes the mark. He is the Hope to tie the game.
My goodness.
Don't make any rash decisions if you're Karingal. Darcy Hope.
Siren would have to go soon as well. I'm not sure we'll be on the siren, but it'd be awfully close.
Reliable all year for Darcy Hope. He's been a connoisseur of kicking goals. And in the semi-final, he ties it with not long to play.
This is ridiculous.
The Bulls are raging, they're rampant. They've come from 30 points behind at three-quarter time. We're all square in the last.
Do we know we do extra time in Mpnfl, or is it just a draw to next week? It's Kyle Pover, he's just confirmed with me. It is actually extra time if we were to sound the siren now. So, everyone in the crowd trying to find out how much time is left. But we just simply don't know. Jones lost the ruck contest, plays pummeling into the dirt. Umpire calls it back. Could we see extra time? This is a classic. A classic fixture between two great sides. Jones taps it, brought to ground again. We'll have another stoppage. Thought Glenn could have got out there, but he didn't. We're just asking questions on extra time at the moment. Could is
5 minutes either way.
Certainly a real possibility. Thanks, Dill, for finding that out. Trying to punch it out. So desperate to win the footy here. And another stoppage. Wow. Everyone's hearts are pumping. I know mine is. So we haven't really moved much from where we had our initial centre bounce. Jones misses it. McGuinness gets out. Off by hand. It's turnover though. Drops the ball. Pearcedale holding the ball. No. Not quite. Heart rates are through the roof. Mine would be 100 at the moment.
One's about 180.
Jones and Smale in the ruck. They get it out of the pack. A mark needs to be taken by Pomeroy. It is. Will they try take a daring risk? They will. It's Alanis in the middle going against that man in Arnott who got it and he's brought to ground by Alanis. Are they going to pay it? No, they're not. That is a controversial decision. My goodness. I wouldn't mind either result, but geez. Wow. So we'll have another stoppage. Alanis at the back. McGuinness pushes through. That's going to be high. High contact it is. McGuinness will get it. They also want the 50. He's told to clear the area. So McGuinness lets it fly on the right. They've got numbers down back to the Bulls. And another contested mark taken by Pomeroy down back. 29 minutes left. Edging really close to the siren, you'd think. Goes out to the wing. No mark taken. Just have to punch it forward to Pearcedale. Will they get out? Jones picks it up. Lets it fly. Going towards a pack. No mark taken. Oh, it's smothered. Great defensive work. Bastanak didn't read it properly. Need to take a breath here. Darcy Hope runs onto it. Oh. He's got an open man. Inaccurate. Arsenis, was it quick enough? He runs, he scores it! Arsenis! Dale Arsenis might have just won Karingal the game! I said Arsenis, it's Dale Alanis! Dale Alanis has kicked a famous goal in Mpnfl history! I alluded to the fact that this could be like the 2005 semi-final between Geelong and Sydney. Could that be the sealer at the 11th hour?
Nearly 30 and a half minutes through. It's Pearcedale's time now. Baz may have gone early in the third, but we knew what was to come. A procession of goals for Karingal. Alana stopped in his tracks. And Kelly, or Bastanak with the tackle. They're slow to get up. It's been an enervating contest. Not a single ounce of energy left, but they're ready to go again. Brought down, holding the ball. Thornton, been prolific all year. And there is the siren. Dale Alanis has kicked himself directly into the books. He's kicked the match winner with not long remaining. And Karingal with pure joy as Pearcedale stare on with despair and only despair. It's been a season to remember for Pearcedale, and they fought so hard all day long. But their next chapter sits in 2023. Karingal will move on into the preliminary final and see Somerville.
My leg is shaking. I can't even concentrate properly. I do apologise. I called him Dale Arsenis. Arsenis is actually my co-commentator at the Frankston Blues, who are the basketball club I work for. But Dale Arsenis has just kicked one of the great all-time goals in Mpnfl history. That was actually the 2005 semi-final. It was Nick Davis who kicks that winning goal with mere seconds left. And it was Dale Alanis, the captain, a captain's goal, stepped up and kicked it to put Karingal into the preliminary final. I don't know about you, Dill, but throughout that passage of play, just before he was about to kick it, I think I might have said it,
I was actually running out of breath. Like I couldn't speak. It was that intense and such high octane footy.